I'm Arizona State Senator Ron Gold, and I represent the 3rd District of Arizona, and I'm also the chairman of the Mojave County Republican Party. Hildy Angus is the first vice chairman. Bob Boyd is the second vice chairman. Anita Boyd is the secretary, and Ken Rober is the treasurer. What does it mean to be a Republican to me? To me, the Republican Party stands for freedom. You know, I don't really need somebody telling me how to run my life. I have the ability to run my life, and I have the ability to run my life better than the government is. The government can't seem to manage their own finances, but yet they're going to tell me that I can manage mine. I think the Republican Party stands for freedom. It stands for freedom in your economic decisions and freedom in, your life decisions, how you're going to live your life. When people come to the United States, they don't come for a government program. They come for freedom. You know, when the Founding Fathers came to the United States, I had an ancestor that came from Edinburgh, Scotland in 1655. And I'm reasonably sure that he didn't come for a government program. Since the United States was not created for 150 years, he wasn't here for a government program, he was here for freedom. You know, that's why people historically have come to the United States, for freedom. And I think that's what the Republican Party stands for, is for freedom. You know, the freedom to succeed. You know, that we don't guarantee the outcome, we guarantee you the opportunity to succeed. Because in reality, how can somebody actually guarantee the outcome? You can't do that but without taking that outcome from somebody else, without redistributing people's wealth and the sweat of their brow and the fruit of their labor. And that's something that the Republican Party's always opposed. You know, we believe that you should be free to succeed. Even though Mojave County is a Republican majority county, I don't feel that we're as effective as we could be. And my goal for the Republican County, or Mojave County Republican Party, is so that statewide candidates don't have to spend any money in Mojave County. That they know that their Republican organization here in Mojave County will deliver the Republican vote to them, so that they can spend that money in areas that they need to, that are more competitive areas. The presidential preference election is the 28th of February. That's a Republican-only election. So if people want to vote and choose who the Republican candidate is, they will have to register as a Republican if they're not already registered as a Republican. Precinct committeeman is essentially the neighborhood Republican. He or she is a representative of the Republican Party to their neighborhood. And if a precinct committeeman is doing their job properly, the Republicans in that neighborhood are on a first-name basis with that precinct committeeman. So if they have a question or a comment, then they can go ahead and relay that to that precinct committeeman. If that voter needs information on voters, information on initiatives, or anything else political regarding the Republican Party, they should be able to get that from the precinct committeeman. And the Republican Party is actually is a bottom-up party. It's run by the precinct committeeman. The precinct committeeman elected me, and the delegates from Mojave County and the other counties in the state elect the state party chairman, Tom Morrissey. And then those people go to Washington and elect the National Republican Party chairman. So it's a bottom-up party versus some other parties that are top-down, where it comes down. We don't have super delegates. We have regular delegates. We don't decide because you were... because of your birthright. Any Republican can be a precinct committeeman. Precinct committeemen are generally elected at the primary election. And if you can also be appointed at a later date if you're a Republican and in good standing, that you live inside of a precinct that has a vacancy, then I can appoint you. There's a process to do that, and if viewers are interested in doing that, they can check with the district director in Kingman, Lake Havasu, or Bullhead City. I think Ronald Reagan was probably the best president that we've ever had, at least in my lifetime. He was the first president that I had the opportunity to vote for. I think I was probably 20 years old when Ronald Reagan ran for president. And if you want to see an outstanding speech, take a look at Ronald Reagan's speech endorsing Barry Goldwater for President of the United States in 1964. It's an outstanding speech. It's a very hard-hitting speech also.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything. Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. Now,
people, I don't think were actually proud to be an American at that point in time. And when President Reagan came into office, what he actually did is gave us hope and reminded us what a great nation the United States is. And it was so different from the message that we'd been hearing for 15, 20 years previous to that, that it was uplifting. And it made people proud to be an American again. And he led us into 20 years of prosperity. You know, my message to the youth of the United States and the young Republicans across the country would be that, this is your country. You're going to inherit this country. Do you want to inherit a country where you're free to succeed? Or do you want to inherit a country that's burdened with debt? Do you want to inherit a country where you get to decide what you're going to do with your life? Or do you want to inherit a country where that decision is essentially made by government for you? I would argue that you want to make that decision for yourself. So you ought to come and join us as we fight for freedom, as we try to push back tyranny and take back the United States.
Gonna wake up crazy, gonna grab my gun, gonna kill my baby. Nobody's business but mine. Ain't nobody's doggone business how my baby treat me. Nobody's business but my own.